This time we have the KBB Lockdown, which is a KO oversized version of the Extinction Deluxe class Lockdown. The figure was fairly decent at the time, especially when it actually comes with the gun face head, the iconic gun head that was shown in the movie. The figures come in a quite bigger box than I imagined because the figure itself was quite big as well. The figure came with 2 accessories, including a gun face head and an alternative head, a battle mask. Here is our main figures of Lockdown in his gun mode. Definitely the most important mode for why I bought these figures for. This is unfortunately the only mode of Lockdown that actually come with a gun face. The first heads that come with these figures will be this head here with the open mask face. So you can see that it had green eyes with fairly detailed face. Of course it's not 100% movie accurate simply due to how old this face sculpt is from 2014, but it looks pretty decent. And then the second head is the one below this one right here. The gun just got attached to the head via a tab. So there's a tab on the gun right here, and that's just gonna get attached to the hole on the head, just like on this head right here. So the gun head is compatible with not only the open mask face, the regular face, but it's also compatible with the second face, which is this mask face right here. Another very iconic head for Lockdown to have in the movie. And here is how the figure looks standing up with his regular face attached. You can see that his looks pretty good. He looks exactly the same as how the little Extinction Deluxe class look, but just much bigger. As for how big he is, here is the YOLOPARK Optimus Prime, Night Prime that got released in this year. This is the second reason that's why I bought these figures for. This Lockdown is the only Lockdown on the market that can scale relatively well with this YOLOPARK Night Prime. He's really cheap. He's only going for around $10 or $15. Very cheap. That's why the quality is also fairly cheap. He scaled fairly well with this YOLOPARK Night Prime, and there's just no other figures on the market that can scale with this Night Prime currently. Here are how they all look together from different sides, and I think it's look pretty good, especially when this guy have the gun face on, firing towards Optimus Prime. In terms of articulation, this guy is definitely really basic. The head can rotate pretty much 360, and then it can tilt upward a little, and it can tilt downward a little, just a little like that until the chin actually touch the chest. For the arm, it's on the bone jaw right here. Firstly, it can go outward around that far, and there's also a hinge in here, so we can move that hinge up. It can move like this. Not very natural, but that is the only way we can get the arm to move 90-degree outwards like that. And then we can, of course, it's a bone jaw, so we can rotate it 360-degree, and it can hinge upward and downward a little. As we go down here, we have a bicep swivel right in here. So that's bicep swivel and around this to swivel around for 360-degree. Her elbow jaw is up around 90-degree like so. Then as for the hand, we have no hand articulation. Same thing for the other arm. And then for this part, mostly vehicle part, so we can move that out and around as well, mainly for transformation. For the chest region, those pieces can move outward, inward a little. It's just angle however we like. Of course, we don't have any waist swivel. For the legs, it can go outward around that far. And then when it go inward like this. Then of course it can kick upward really far. And then kick backward around that far till we reach the keyboard over here. And then of course we have this swivel right here, just right above the knee. Less than 90-degree bend for the knee. As we go to the feet region can tilt forward like that. And it can tilt backward. There's no tilt side to side. The vehicle modes of these figures have the same mold as the original Deluxe class from Extinction, but with a different color, with jet black color with our Decepticon logo. For the first side comparison, we have this Lockdown standing next to the KO high-octane Bumblebee. Next, we have this KO Lockdown standing next to the Study Series Rip. Here's how Study Series Crosshair standing next to this KO Oversized Lockdown. Then we have Study Series Hot Rod standing next to this KO Oversized Lockdown. And here is how Lockdown standing next to the Study Series Ratchet. Next is the Last Night Voyager House standing next to this KO Oversized Lockdown. Here we have the scale comparison between the Extinction Evasion Mode Optimus Prime and this KO Oversized Lockdown. Then this is how the Study Series Night Prime scale with this KO Oversized Lockdown. And of course, this is the most important side comparison between this KO Oversized Lockdown and the YOLOPARK Optimus Prime. Just for those of you who are curious, this is how the Trumpeter Bumblebee scale with the scale oversized lockdown. Then we have Mohawk, 3302 Stinger, 33 number 90 Voyager class Galvatron. And of course, the scale between the scale oversized lockdown and the study series lockdown. This study series version is pretty good, and you can see that he comes with two weapons. One is the hook and one is this dagger right here. But he doesn't have the full weapon or the gun mask that is very iconic in the movie in my opinion. So for this version, because it's very cheap, so buying him worth really nothing, like it's just equal to buying a 3D printed weapon. So that's why I want to get this gun, the gun head from that version, and try to somehow fit it onto this 30 series version. And now of course I realize that this is a little too big for the 30 series one, but it's okay. If it can work, it still would be fairly decent because I just want to have a gun mask for my 30 series lockdown in whichever way which may work. That could be a project for another video to somehow put this gun head onto the 30 series lockdown. Back to the side comparison, here we have the TLK Nitro Zeus scaling with this KO lockdown. Next is how the TLK Voyager Megatron scale with this KO lockdown. Then here we have the scale between this KO Oversized lockdown with all of the KO Oversized Dinobots that are available on the market. And here is how the KO Oversized lockdowns scaling with all of their Extinction and the Last Night Autobot. Next is the scale between all of their Extinction and the Last Night Decepticon with this KO Oversized lockdown. And last but not least, we have all of the Extinction and the Last Night Autobot and Decepticons scaling with this KO Oversized lockdown. Although this lockdown doesn't scale perfectly with most figures, the scale can work out for some of the Deluxe class considering that most Deluxe class characters are 15 feet tall and lockdown is supposed to be 22 feet tall.